Alright guys, today we've got a pretty sweet treat for you. We have Slackjaw remade, and before we get to that, I want to show you the original version in MX Unleashed because maybe it's been a while since you played that game, maybe you don't have that game, and I just want to give you a refresher of what the track was. So, any track from MX Unleashed could be remade and would be fantastic because all the tracks had great lines, awesome environments, memorable tracks, right? So, playing it on Xbox One because Xbox made it backwards compatible. One of the coolest things Xbox has ever done. So, if you have Xbox One or whatever, I don't know if the series has it, but Xbox One has it. Go pick it up and you can check it out for yourself. But yeah, let's jump into it, check out the original, and then we switch over to the remake. Okay, so here we go. One difference I'm going to point out right away because it probably is really annoying to do it. I know Hurin added snow to Avalanche, and maybe it could be done for Reflex too, but this track actually has some rain coming down on it, so that isn't in the remake, but everything else, almost to a T, is there. Now, the track, it wasn't... I mean, I played this game a ton on the original Xbox, like a ton, but I didn't remember this specific track that well. And when I played it, it's a really fun track. It's a super fun track, but it just wasn't a track that I spent a ton of time on. Doesn't mean it was a bad track. I just said it was great, but I wasn't that familiar with it. But it works. I don't know. It's so weird, but it almost works better in the remake. And the reason I say that is because there is some line choice in the new version of it, and it just plays out better. Yes, the same lines are here in the original, but the way this game was, I mean, it was carrying bunches of speed and then huge preload to get you out of a bad spot or hit a massive line. And so the alternate line didn't work as good. I mean, even doing this, trying to hit the way the game wants you to hit it, didn't work that great because what I really wanted to do was give it a bigger preload and jump one farther or whatever than what the game was asking you to do. This specific section in the remake it's the same, but you hit it a bit different. And, well, not the main way you hit it isn't really different, but the secondary line that you can go for works a lot better. This part of the track is almost identical. Here we go for a quad. In the remake, it's a triple, but the way it's laid out, I mean, it looks the same. The lighting is a little bit better, I think, in the remake. It's pretty dark here, right? Pretty dark, but I mean, like I said, any track from MX Unleashed could be remade and would be super fun. The finish line here works. It's hard to say that because this is the original, right? The original should always be probably the best, but the track that has been remade, the finish line section works a little bit better. You take the inside and you can have an alternate line, and you can do it in this game too, but it just doesn't work as good because, like I said, the way the game plays and the way the preload physics are and whatnot, the air physics, the in-air physics, it just works better to do it the main way. Right, so just really cool. I mean, we've had 2 MX Unleashed remakes in the last few weeks, and this is just crazy. This is so cool. It's so fun to see this, and I kind of want to wait to talk about who's done it, where it's at, and whatnot until we get to that game and finish up here. But it's so well done. I mean, I have zero complaints about anything. I mean, the remake. Like I said, I already said it, but rarely is the remake better than the original. And I wouldn't say that the last remake we saw was better. It was really, really good. Probably the same, but not necessarily better. Here, for this remake, I actually do think it is done a little bit better, and it just plays better. Not because the game is necessarily better, but because the way it was built and planned out and made and thought out for how the game obviously isn't going to play the same as this one was really well done. So we're about to finish here, and then we switch over to the remake, which is probably mostly what you want to see. I mean, maybe you wanted to see this a little bit because you didn't remember, like me. I mean, I just didn't remember this track. It's kind of like, I don't know if it's a swampy area or what, but excuse me, just the way it is. Really cool setting and don't really remember. But here we're going to switch over to, you guessed it, maybe you guessed it, MX versus ATV Reflex. This track is the Slackjaw remake by C4 Detonator. C4 Detonator has been on a tear. He did Bodhi, remade Bodhi. It was absolutely perfect. It was just so good. And then he did Bo Diddly, which was like backwards Bodhi. And then he made the 2022, it was 2022, right? Straight Rhythm. We showed you that. That video didn't do very good, but if you haven't seen it, go check it out. I just recently posted that video. That it's really well done. It's awesome. It's super fun. But he did that, and now he's done this track, Slackjaw. And I'm telling you, I think it's better. It's just so fun. Now, he said it's virtually the same track. It's been changed a little bit. Not really changed, but adjusted to the way Reflex plays. Like, this triple, it works really good in this game, but in MX Unleashed, you hit it as a quad. But here I'm going to show you some alternate lines. So this isn't my favorite way to take it, but you can triple, double, and then double out. So that alternate line just works so much better in Reflex than it did or would have worked in MX Unleashed. And the alternate lines are more obvious than the main line. And this section probably works about the same. You hit the few whoops, and then you can hit it a few different ways. I never really hit it that good because I got a weird kick off of the last couple whoops, and then never could really jump in or over that the way I wanted to. But here we're tripling, doubling, and then a triple to the kind of a table. Not really a table, but kind of a table. And I think that's pretty similar to how we did it with MX Unleashed. So the track itself plays out almost the same. This section plays a little bit different, and maybe some of the jumps feel like they're toned down a tiny bit compared to the original version. But again, different game. You kind of have a preload, you lean back, and you can whip glitch, but you don't have the same kind of preload and the same in-air physics that you have in Unleashed, in Reflex, so it plays a bit different. Here we hit it the main way, the way I do believe we hit it in MX Unleashed. So yeah, I mean, I highly recommend you guys go check this out. Again, I say this every video because I do get the question almost every video, how do I play these on console? You don't. You can't play these on console. You have to be on PC. Reflex on PC has been through many different stages, you know. It came to PC, it had tons of custom content being made for it, and then it kind of went through a stage where it kind of died down a bit, right? And then we were in that stage recently where there really wasn't much content being made. Red Rider was kind of holding the torch a bit, RDC to some degree, and then it just kind of fell off. But C4 is kind of doing a Reflex revival here, which is awesome. And I know some people that aren't familiar with this game say this game looks pretty dated. Well, it is pretty dated. It came out, when did this game come out? 2009, 2008, 9, maybe 10. I don't know. So we're talking pretty long ago. And the way the game plays, the gameplay, the physics, everything still hold up today. I wouldn't say, I mean, All Out and Legends, one of the biggest downfalls to those games is the bike sounds, and while these probably aren't as good as maybe Alive or Supercross Encore or MX bikes, they're probably still better than Legends or All Out. So the game still holds up great. It is my favorite MX vs ATV game of all time. I know it's kind of controversial to say, but Encore is probably my second. Not because it's realistic or because it's better than Reflex, but because I spent a bunch of time learning how to play that game, getting good at it, and all that stuff. But C4 Detonator, thank you. I am not going to speak for everybody, but thank you for the content you've been doing. I see you in Reflex all the time, and then go check Darkside's 19's custom track website, and usually there's been a new track there. You the man. I mean, pumping out content, pumping out all this stuff. Somebody asked if they'd ever see these tracks in Legends, and it would be so cool. It would be so cool for C4 to throw some of that stuff in a new MX vs ATV game. His creativity is amazing. He wanted to thank Red Rider for, I believe, fences and some other stuff, but otherwise, mostly it's just him. C4's been around forever and has been making these tracks since, like I said, forever ago, and he does some of the best work. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. But you guys, girls, are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, take it easy.